Welcome back to Mismatch. Chapter 8. So you need to sabotage date? How are you all? I hope you're well. Hey, what's your favourite accent? Not just from me, just in general. As you watch Veronica and your dad continue to flirt, Maggie hurries over to you. I don't know what happened. It just happened. It's happening. Ah. You turn your attention back to the bar. Veronica is fully engrossed in one of your dad's classic jokes. On in the barber says, so we don't shave dog here. Oh? Don't worry, boy, we don't shave dogs here either. Ruff! Oh, what an adorable puppy. Well, thank you, Mom. You're too kind. Oh, I guess the dog's cute too. Veronica laughs so hard she wipes a tear from her eye. A successful business owner who's funny and cute? What's the catch here? Drew looks at you, his expression unsure. Well, there is one thing you might want to know. Before he can continue, Veronica's phone rings. She checks it and frowns. I'm sorry, but I have to take this. It's my divorce lawyer. I understand. I hope to see you around sometime. I don't normally come to this part of town, but I think I have someone who can arrange that. Veronica heads towards the exit and shoots your dad one final smile. She turns to you and you force a smile back. You never stop surprising me, Valentina. Good work. As the door closes behind her, you whirl around to face your dad. Dad, was it... Junebug, you never told me how beautiful Veronica is. Oh, what a delight. I can't remember the last time I ate it off with someone so fast. Wow, that was some good acting. But you won't be seeing her again. I'm surprised you got along so well. I thought you two would have nothing in common. Well, it turns out we both have a fond memory for gumball machines, cassette tapes, and drive-in movies. I know you said I should try to be a mediocre date, but I wasn't thinking about anything except how much I enjoyed our company. That I can't have my dad dating my boss right now. Not right now. Not while I'm trying to win this competition. Junebug, maybe this isn't as bad as you think it is. I know I'm biased, but I definitely felt sparks here. That, please don't do this for me. I didn't even know you were looking. I wasn't until she walked in. It's been so long since your mom, Junebug. You know I dated a bit after, but it never worked out. I'd resigned myself to that, really. But Veronica feels different, special. Oh, that's so cute, but also so gross. Can't you pick literally any other woman in the city? There's millions of them. Junebug, aren't you desperate to find someone for her? If we are already into each other. If my only option is my boss dating my dad, I will find a better option. You stare down at the profiles of all the men you interviewed tonight, who all became such dire disappointments. It means we're still in this competition, but we're gonna have to fight to keep it that way. The next morning, you meet with Veronica to go over this week's dates. Valentina, do you have an update for me about Drew? I would absolutely love to see him again. About that was a misunderstanding. I have some really promising other matches. There's just so many I've lost track of their names. And Damian should be free one of these days. For a retired guy, he sure is busy, but I know he'd like to see you again. That is absolutely wonderful to hear. But I want to date with Drew. With all these other matches I definitely have, I'm not sure I'll be able to find room for that Drew. Well, I suggest you find room then. I'll see what I can do. God, she looks like someone has hit her with a broom. Poor girl. Great, I'm off to the airport. Excuse me, airport? Antonio invited me to his vineyard in Napa for a night. I'm very excited. It's not often I'm able to travel. But speaking of exciting things, I hope to have something lined up with Drew when I get back. Hours later, you're pouring through dating profiles with a glazed stare when Aphrodite knocks on your door. Why are you here, Aphrodite? Oh, I'm here to gloat about the fact that I've got Veronica flying to Napa for her third date with Antonio. I really know how to pick him. What's this guy's last name? I've got to scope out the competition. Valdez. Forbes just put out an article on him. Wine and Dine, how one man took over the wine market. You search his name, and sure enough, the article is right there. But right above it is an article that's only an hour old. You click on it, and your eyes widen. Aphrodite, I'd off on the victory lap if I were you. What? Why? She reads over your shoulder, eyes growing wider. Stories of blackmail, extortion, and narcissism paint a grim picture of Antonio Valdez as an irrational, vengeful, and cruel man. Ugh. Aphrodite, you really know how to pick 'em. I'm sorry, this isn't how I wanted to win. Who said I was losing? You doubling down on this loser? Hell no. But I'm not throwing in the towel yet. I just have to get this guy out of Veronica's life first. Veronica whips out her phone and makes a call. After a few moments, you hear a muffled response. Hey, Antonio. I know you must be in Napa right now, but some news has come up. Some news I really don't like. She brings up the article, her tone immediately growing serious. So, I'm going to have to call off your date with Veronica. I'm sure you understand. It doesn't sound like Antonio understands. You hear everything as he yells at Aphrodite from the other end of the line. If you ruin this for me, I'm bringing Veronica's dirty little secret to the press and ruining her. We have something good going for us, so keep your nose out of this if you know what's good for her, for you, and for her precious company. This guy sounds like a dick. There's a beep as Antonio hangs up. Aphrodite grips her phone, teeth grit in fury. That ass! I have to get Veronica out of there. But if I call Veronica and she backs out now, Antonio will know I told her and he'll leak her divorce to the press. She starts pacing, anxiety rolling off of her in waves. I can't believe I put her in this situation. Damn it, this is all my fault. Aphrodite, calm down for a second. This isn't your fault. It's Antonio's, and whoever else helped him keep his ugly past buried for so long. You won't do Veronica any good blaming yourself for this. You need to focus on helping her. Right, you're right. Thanks, Valentina. She takes a deep breath and looks you straight in the eyes. I wouldn't ask this if it wasn't absolutely necessary, but I need your help. Me? You're the one who always figures things out at the last second. You never let the pressure get to you. I hate begging, but I need you, Valentine. You're the only one who can help me help Veronica. Hold on. Do you even have a plan? Why should I fix your mistake? We'll figure one out. I just need to know you're on my side here. Don't you start yelling at me. Take a second to think about what you're asking. We're neck deep in this competition and you're asking me to pause everything I'm doing to deal with the mess you've gotten Veronica into? Screw the competition, Valentina. This asshole could hurt Veronica. This is about her, nothing else. She looks at you with burning eyes before dropping her head into her hands. I need your help, Valentina. Please. You've taken the sight of Aphrodite as she recomposes herself. You can see how worried she is for Veronica, how lost she feels, and your answer becomes clear. Alright, I'm in, but we need to figure out what we can even do. Aphrodite wordlessly rushes to your desk, using your computer to look up the soonest flight to Oakland. We can't call Veronica or call off the date. There's only one option left. We fly out to Napa and sabotage the date without Antonio realizing it. After a long pause, you put a third plane ticket into the cart. Aphrodite gives you a questioning look. If we're sabotaging this date, we'll need all the help we can get. Maggie enters the office, fresh coffee in hand. Maggie is so adorable. I heard something about sabotage. You called? Get packed, Maggie. We're going to California. Later, you land at the airport and Aphrodite takes her phone off airplane mode to find a couple of texts from Veronica. Oh no, listen to this. Aphrodite, Antonio is behaving differently today. It seems that being at his vineyard has drawn out his egoism. I'm sorry to say it's unbearable. And she sent another one just now. We're about to start the afternoon wine tasting. Any recommendations for how to end a date early? Tell her we're on our way, literally. Aphrodite fires off text explaining the situation as you rush through the airport. We have to be careful with this. We need this date to be bad, but it can't seem like Veronica's fault or Antonio will rat her out. Easy, we pretend to be annoying wine testers and mess with their date so much Antonio will be too embarrassed to ask for another. And there's one more thing we need. Maggie grabs your arm and drags you to a clothing display. If we're trying to blend in, maybe it's not the worst idea to get an outfit that says, I'll have the 1987 Sauvignon Blanc, please. She snatches a sundress off the rack and holds it up to you. This will help transform you from Valentina, the harried New Yorker, to Valentina, the Californian queen. No. That is not good. Good thinking, Maggie, but we don't have time to stop and shop. We need to get to that vineyard. When you arrive at the vineyard, you spot Veronica and Antonio in the restaurant, sitting on a couch in front of some appetizers. The three of you take a seat at a far table, and Aphrodite opens a newspaper to hide her face. Okay, anybody have sabotage ideas? Looks like the waitress is bringing them their first bottle of wine. She points to a waitress making her way towards Veronica and Antonio. Perfect, we can swap the wine bottle with this. Maggie pulls a bottle out of her purse. When did you even get that? I bought it at the airport. $2. Chuck is about to be our saving grace. We just need to figure out how to swap the wines. Simple. Aphrodite flirts with the waitress. Maggie, go fill Caron on the waitress. Oh, okay. I'll do my best. Maggie raises her voice, snapping impatiently in the waitress's direction. Excuse me, can't you see that I need your attention? Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. I'll be with you in a moment. Oh no, I feel bad. This poor woman. I am a paying customer who needs your help right now. Do you see anyone else asking for your help? Are you neglecting me? No, of course not. The waitress hurries over and sets the wine bottle on the table. You quietly make the swap as she talks to Maggie. What's the matter, ma'am? I ordered the lemon bars for dessert and they were sour. I can't eat sour things. Well, they are lemon, ma'am. Desserts need to be sweet. I demand you to tell the chef to make the lemon bars that I'm paying for sweet. Can do, ma'am. I'm sorry your lemon bars were sour. The waitress picks up the wine bottle and scurries to the kitchen. I feel evil. Me too, Maggie. I regret choosing that. But it was worth it. Look, she's going to Veronica and Antonio's table. You watch the waitress uncork the wine and pour a sample for Antonio and Veronica. Antonio smiles smugly. I have a special treat for you, Veronica. It's my new vintage and, dare I say, the best one to date. This is from the Nanny Affair. He's from the Nanny Affair. Oh, how exciting. Veronica swirls her wine, sniffs it, and takes a sip. It's all right. All right. Antonio snatches up his glass and takes a sip. His face contorts and he spits it back out. This can't be my wine. Jessica, where did you get this swill? From the wine cellar, and my name is Julia. Whatever. Get out of my sight or there'll be real consequences. Send up someone with more experience. Poor girl. The waitress storms off to the staff room and Veronica arches an eyebrow at Antonio. The wine is fine, Antonio. Let's not ruin the day over it. Fine isn't good enough. But you're right, it was just one bottle. I'll get to the bottom of this later. You grin and get to your feet, holding the stolen bottle of wine. Maître. You walk over to Veronica and Antonio's table. Veronica sees you coming and her eyes widen before she smiles warmly. Another bottle of wine? Yes, I am so sorry about Jessica. I'll be filling in for her and I'd love to tell you about one of our house vintages. Here we go. I promise, Veronica, you won't be disappointed. I'll show off my majestic pouring, demonstrate proper tasting technique with Antonio's glass, ramble at length about the winery. You grin at Veronica as you uncork the bottle. We believe here at Antonio Vineyards. It's Peaceful Valley Vineyards, actually. Ooh, is that where we are? Anyway, at this place we take great pride in our vineyards. We most certainly do. Each grape is lovingly caressed each morning as the dew dissipates, and at night we take turns singing the vine's lullabies. How avant-garde. Wait, what? On cold days we knit the grapes' little sweaters. My grandma loves to help. What is this nonsense? Were you not invited to our last knitting session? I'm so sorry. You must not be subscribed to our weekly newsletter. But we have a yoga session next Saturday. We believe that connecting with our inner selves around the grapes makes them stronger. Who hired you? Get out of my establishment. Sure thing. You wink at Veronica and flounce back to your table. Aphrodite and Maggie choke back laughter. Genius. Utter genius. Look at him losing it. Veronica, darling, these aren't the standards I've required of my staff. Peaceful Valley Vineyards won't accept this mediocrity a second time. Antonio, sit down. Your staff may be behaving outrageously, but so are you. Realizing the scene he's making, Antonio swiftly sits back down, dabbing at the sweat on his forehead. He forces a smile. They must be new. That's it. This is just all so out of the ordinary. He clears his throat and leans forward, grinning at Veronica. Anyway, forget all that. There's something I've been wanting to talk about. You and I, we're kindred spirits, you see. Is that so? Yes, I happen to be something of a matchmaker myself. Learned everything I know from the illustrious Chaz Pachinko. Already looking him up. Maggie feverishly scrolls through her phone and her eyes widen. Oh my god, you're gonna want to see this. You and Aphrodite look down at Maggie's screen. You see a fan holding up a book titled Alpha Male Seduction while standing right next to Antonio. The caption says, finally meeting my hero, Chaz Pachinko. Chaz Pachinko is Antonio? You swipe the phone from Maggie, opening a preview of his book. You read the passage aloud. In the dating world, always remember that you are a wolf. This is atrocious ammunition. One sniff of this and Veronica will prove just how incompatible she is with Antonio. Hear me out. If we get Antonio, Chaz Pachinko, to try and fail to show off his matchmaking skills in front of Veronica, he'll be too embarrassed to ever show his face in front of her again, and he'll have no one to blame but himself. It's too risky. Aphrodite has to stay hidden, and Antonio has already seen me. We need to end this date another way. Well, we could just go the boring route and just make Veronica seem totally unappealing to him. Looks like she's doing a good job of that herself. You glance back over at their table where Antonio's still gloating about Chaz Pachinko. I like to call him a Camus because he knows how to make things sizzle. Really, how strange that I haven't heard his name before. He must not be making an impact on the industry. Oh, well, he's still new. Okay, time to go in for the kill. Aphrodite, you're gonna text Veronica and tell her how to turn off Antonio for the good. She should say she wants to have lots of kids. Admit she doesn't like wine. Talk about her toenail fungus. Aphrodite texts the suggestion to Veronica. She subtly glances down at her phone, then forces a smile. Antonio, we've come so far, and I think it's time we took the next step. I'm ready to have children. Excuse me? Yes, I've been looking into adoption, and I'd like a big brood, and I want them to have a loving father in their lives. Veronica, please, slow down. I don't want children. Oh, I see. I'm so sorry to hear that. But don't worry, I'll change your mind. Just give me a few months. Panic flits across Antonio's face. As you watch, he steels himself and reaches for Veronica's hand. Veronica, I've had a lovely time with you these last 3 dates, but I think today has given us enough signs. I think we're better off as friends. It isn't you, it's me. No, I fully agree with you. If we aren't meant to be, we aren't meant to be. Exactly. In that case, let's finish up here. Oh, look at that. I'm getting a call. I have to take this. Antonio makes his very obvious escape. Once he's gone, Veronica sighs in relief and turns around to face you. Good work, you three. Though I certainly never envisioned today going like this. Well, I'll simply leave it at that. I'm so sorry about Antonio, Veronica. I thought I knew what he was like, but we both did, Aphrodite. But no matter, what's done is done. And I think I'll take this bottle of vintage back to New York with me. It's the least I deserve. She plucks the bottle of wine off the table and gets to her feet, eager to leave. Yay! Ruining dates and smashing sexist shitholes. Later, after Maggie and Veronica have left to catch an earlier flight, you and Aphrodite still have a few hours before you have to be at the airport. You sit side by side, staring out at the moonlit vineyards. How are you feeling? I know your money was on Antonio, and now you're back at square one. Aphrodite lets out a long, heavy breath. If this is what cost me the competition, I'll take it. I would rather ruin my chances than see Veronica end up with an asshat like that. Aphrodite, I'm sorry you had to do this. Proud of you. Now that's a surprise. You potentially sacrifice the opportunity of a lifetime to save someone from an asshole and preserve her privacy. That says a lot about you. Good things too. Save the sentimental speeches. I'd hate for you to have to swallow them if it all works out for me in the end. You're a good person, Aphrodite. Really. Aphrodite's eyes widen. She looks away from you, shrugging. I try, as much as anyone can, but that's not enough sometimes. I couldn't have pulled this off today on my own. She breathes out a laugh, running a hand over her face. It means a lot that you and Maggie did all this for me. I'm not used to asking people for help. I hate owing people things. Who said anything about owing anyone? You did something major for me. I can't just let that slide. I'll repay you someday, I promise. You can just say thank you. Relationships aren't about keeping score of who's done what. They aren't a competition. Hang on, our whole relationship is a competition. Does this mean we have to stop all our sexy stuff? Aphrodite, can you stay serious? We don't have to, and I don't want to. I mean, we should if we want to follow Tusko's rules. But we're kind of past that point by now. We're way past it, and that's not the only thing we're past. I know that you and I don't really talk about what we are, but not talking about it doesn't change the fact that we are something. And I know I'm not the only one who feels that what we are is changing. Aphrodite meets your eyes. She seems like she wants to say 100 different things, but doesn't know how. No, you aren't. Relationships are about functioning together as a unit. Whoever needs help gets help. Is this your way of saying you think we actually function together? All the arguments be damned? It's my way of saying, I wish we did. We're on the road to something. Would I have done all of this for you a couple of weeks ago? Probably not. But I didn't know, and that means something. You reach over and take her hand, feeling a bubble of hope as she grips back. What's happened here today, me helping you even though it made my chances in the competition worse, and you giving me that pep talk outside of the stockyard the other night when you could have just kept bragging. We did those things for each other because we aren't just competing with each other anymore. Aphrodite stares into your eyes for a long while before looking down at the step between her feet, her voice dropping. But we are still competing. Veronica needs a CEO. One of us needs to beat the other. Whatever we could be, Valentina, we can't be this functional unit you're talking about right now, no matter how much we want it. You just said we. Aphrodite glances back at you with a wry grin. Yeah, guess I did. You rest your head on her shoulder. What if we pretended for a little bit that we aren't competing? We're on the other side of the country from all that, after all. You always know how to make a compelling point. Then let's pretend we're Aphrodite and Valentina, just two people with no responsibilities. What would you do if that was the case? I'd sneak you into the wine cellar, crack open a bottle of their best stuff, and toast to what we could be. She lets go of your hand to point to an unmanned door with a picture of a wine bottle on it. Wait, you're serious? You think I'd joke about stealing some of Antonio's wine? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Come on, let me show you a good time. Ooh, yay, let's go. Quick, when no one's looking. I live for their moments. I am just dying in cuteness right now. It's death by cuteness. You sneak into the cellar, close the door, and quickly descend the spiral stairs, Aphrodite's hand in yours. How long do you think we have? Restaurants close for the night. That means they won't have to get any more wine from down here until tomorrow. So we have free reign over the cellar? Whatever will we do with ourselves? If you say be model citizens and don't steal wine, I'm throwing you back out there. Are you kidding me? 0 wines in here, I've only dreamt of trying. I'm a kid in a candy store right now. You pull Aphrodite down the stairs, admiring the rows of bottles. With a thoughtful hum, you select a 1952 Merlot from Burgundy, France. France does excellent wine. I've always wanted to try wine from this year. I've heard it's one of the best bottles you can drink. Look at you being a pretentious wine snob. I believe the word you're looking for is bartender. You find a pair of glasses and pour, giving the wine time to breathe. Aphrodite holds up her glass to yours. All right, bartender, tell me what this very expensive bottle of wine tastes like. I have a simple palate. You scrunch your nose playfully at Aphrodite, then take a sip, thinking as the flavors swirl over your tongue. It tastes like fermented grape juice, full-bodied with an ochre finish, like victory. Isn't ochre a color? What does a color taste like? You know, ochre. It's all woody and earthy. Then why don't you say that? This is wine, not a paint store. What, sounding pretentious isn't part of the fun for you? I think wine is the fun part for me. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Well, that settles it. When we get back to New York, I'll send you a bottle of this as a thank you. This bottle is worth several $1,000. Okay, maybe you'll pick out a bottle like 2 steps down from this, and I'll send that one. You better not be sending it as a thank you for whatever you think you owe me for today. Aphrodite shakes her head, a wistful smile on her face. I just want to thank you, with more than just words. I appreciate all you've done today. I really do. You motion around the wine cellar. Consider this thanking me then. Being with me is the way you want to. Like we want to. She looks down, something heavy weighing down her shoulders. You reach out to put an arm around her. What's wrong? Look, this is great, but won't that make it even harder when we have to go back to New York and stop pretending we can do this? And it's not just that. I haven't even pretended to be this degree of whatever the hell we are with someone in so long. It's just kind of a lot. Being vulnerable, playing what if when we're going to have to go back to reality tomorrow. Aphrodite, what are you afraid of? We're in the exact same boat. I can't even remember the last time I went out on a date before you took me out for ice cream that first night. I'd never took time for myself. I'd gotten so used to putting everyone else first. And so did you, right? It's literally my job. Exactly. We're so used to not putting ourselves first and not chasing our own happiness. So all those things you said about this being overwhelming and about worrying about what comes next, I feel it too. Your arm around Aphrodite tightens as you hug her securely. I know we're just playing what if right now, but if there wasn't a competition to get back to tomorrow, I'd ask you to take a chance on us. Aphrodite wordlessly squeezes you closer, muzzling into your neck. Well, maybe there's still something I can do for us. She kisses and nips along your neck, down your shoulder. You shiver as her tongue laps against your skin. I like where this is going. Aphrodite's hands roam down the curves of your waist, landing on your hips with a squeeze. You groan and drag her face up to kiss her hungrily. Good, because we have time to kill, and I have a few ideas. You sigh as her mouth returns to your neck. Heat builds within you as she makes quick work of your clothes, her hands caressing every inch of your body. Once your clothes are cast aside, she takes a good look at you, biting her lip with obvious desire. It should be impossible, but you get hotter every time. I don't need you to sweet-talk me, Aphrodite. You bring your lips to hers, lowering your voice to a murmur. I need you to be sweet to me. I think I can manage. She pries your bra away from your breasts and ducks her head, sucking and nibbling until you shudder. You gasp as she grips your hips and lifts you into her arms. You wrap your legs around her waist, need coursing through you. Aphrodite, push me on top of the table against the wine racks. Think you can handle it? You even have to ask? I'm insulted. Aphrodite presses you against the towering shelves of wine. You shiver at the sensation of the cool bottle tops dotting your back. You grip the sturdy shelves, holding yourself up as Aphrodite slides your panties aside. She looks at you with a mischievous grin and hoists your legs onto her shoulders before kissing a searing path inside of your thighs. Ah. Sorry, what was that? Her lips consume you, and you gasp, your arms shuddering as you hold yourself up, pleasure bolting through you like electricity. Oh my God, Aphrodite. You lock eyes with her as she winks from between your legs. You feel her fingers slide in and you throw your head back, crying out. Ah, ah, ah. When you feel your apex approaching too fast, you tug her head back up, panting hard for breath. Are you trying to get us caught? You're the one making noise, but by all means, don't stop. You push teasingly against her shoulders, and she lets you down. You take her waist, walking her slowly towards the table. Why don't we test that, since we have so much time to kill? Whatever you're thinking, I already like it. You divest her of her clothes, all the while her hands cup your breasts, roaming your waist, pull on your hips. Someone's impatient. You just drive me that crazy. Without a warning, you push her down onto the table. She gasps as her back comes into contact with the cool wood, then groan as you climb over her. Loving this more by the second. She trembles as your fingers dance their way down her stomach. When they swipe between her legs, she bucks against them. Oh, Valentina. Oh, God. She reaches between your legs as well, and you shudder, kissing her neck as you pleasure each other. Nothing could possibly make this better. Keep going. Offer Aphrodite a drink. Off of me. Nothing, well, about that. Without stopping the movements between you two, you reach with your spare hand to grab the wine bottle on the table beside you. You pour some on your shoulder. It drips down your chest, rivulets travelling down your belly. Aphrodite's eyes glance through you, hungry with need. She pushes herself up beneath you, tongue reaching to lick and suck the wine off your skin. Aphrodite, yes, that's... It doesn't take long for you to lose control of the warmth spreading through you, for fire to turn to electricity as your eyes widen and your body bucks of its own volition. Valentina, yes, oh God. Yes. Later, you lie naked and entangled on the cellar's table, passing the wine bottle between you. Jesus, Valentina, that was... I know, it was for me too. You dip down to kiss her lips. She chases after each kiss with one of her own, and you feel like this moment will never end. When you hear a sudden beeping. That's the alarm on my phone. We should think about calling a ride to the airport. Figured if I didn't set one, I'd really throw caution to the wind and we'd never leave. Would that really have been so bad? Aphrodite holds your gaze for several long moments. Instead of answering, she brushes a kiss against your lips, then hops off the table and hands you your clothes. As you get dressed, she finds her phone and shuts off her alarm. For a while, the only sounds are the rustling of fabric as you both pull your clothes back on. Well, here we go, back to reality. As you finish straightening yourself out, Aphrodite catches your hand and pulls you into her embrace. Well, maybe we can waste another couple minutes. She steals one more long, indulgent kiss from you before finally pulling you up the stairs. Now, let's get back to New York so we can make some more mistakes later. I would like to apologise for those awful, weak-ass moans. I have come home for Christmas, and that tells you everything you need to. So, yeah. You and Aphrodite have just arrived for work the next morning when Maggie rushes your way. Veronica wants the two of you in her office. Hurry. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Dun dun dun. When you enter Veronica's office, she's powdering makeup over dark circles under her eyes. Hurry up. Don't let anyone see me like this. You close the door behind Aphrodite, gulping as Veronica turns her withering gaze on the two of you. There's something that I don't think you two have understood, so allow me to be crystal clear. Veronica's furious at you and Aphrodite, But for what reason? Well, it's probably not because they're sleeping together, because if it was, then she would have just said that there. It's something that none of us have thought about. What? I'm not sure. Tune in for the next episode and we'll find out. Stay frosty, puppies.